Be it resolved.
Hello, and welcome to Be It Resolved, your weekly debate podcast. Here at Be It Resolved, we debate serious topics, we debate lighthearted topics, but always with a touch of wit and humor. So we're very happy you've joined us here today. And my name is Andrew Wood. I'm going to serve as moderator of the debate today. And allow me to introduce our newest member. He's just been called up from AAA Buffalo, but he's got a great pitching arm, and we're happy to welcome him to the big leagues. Here's our friend Andrew Oates. Andrew, welcome to the podcast.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Our other members here are Mr. Al Brown, Al, Sarabjit Sandhu, and Mario Karakides. Now, we have quite a topic here for you today. And you know what? It's a serious one, but it's one that we're going to invite you to think about through the arguments being presented here. And this is it. Be it resolved that organic labeling on foods in supermarkets is a scam. Okay, well, that's the topic. Arguing for this resolution will be Andrew Oates and Sarab Sandhu. Arguing against it will be Al Brown and Mario Karakides. So we're changing our format a little bit. I will not be involved in the debate, but I'll be very happy to act as the moderator. And allow me to say right off the top that as moderator, I shall be 100% impartial and unbiased. Even though it is, my topic, I'm the one who did propose it. But any attempt at the end of this podcast to suggest any bias on the judges on the moderator's part will be summarily dismissed by the judge. And I also happen to be the judge, so there you go. Okay, so we're going to start off with some 2-minute constructive arguments. And leading us off with his thoughts will be Andrew Oates. Andrew, you've got 2 minutes to make your argument starting now.
Thank you very much, Andrew Wood. I know that you're impartial because you're waiting eagerly for this debate to help you make up your mind about which way to go on this issue. I think that it's clearly a scam, the organic labeling, because it misleads people into thinking that something labeled organic has all sorts of benefits that really the label doesn't claim, but people make those kind of assumptions about things. They think organic always means better. In fact, getting that label is a costly and cumbersome process. Someone has to pay for that. There are problems with things like GMO products, hydroponic products, greenhouse products, which can't get that label because they don't fulfill the letter of the organic law. Also, by the way, what's organic in Canada might be different from what's organic in the United States or what's organic in Europe. So it's a kind of a loose term which relies on a regional body to give their okay to. Now, people think it means animals will be treated better, they'll get more nutrition, they'll save the planet. None of those claims are made, in fact, with the label organic. There are instances where organic food is more poisonous than pesticide treated food. But that's my 2 minutes, so I will leave it there for now.
Thank you very much. Some cogent points being made on this side. And now to follow that up, we have, just a moment here, we have Al Brown. Al Brown, you've got 2 minutes to make your argument starting now.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And I do rely on your impartiality in this because I think we have a superior argument here. All food products that are sold in grocery stores are subject to one form of regulation or another. They are there is provincial regulation, where in Canada there's federal regulation, all intended to guarantee the quality and reliability of the food that we consume. Labeling food as organic or non is no different from any other form of labeling. And it does provide an extra level of information for the public. And the watchword for the public, whenever they go into any grocery store, is always buyer beware, because the grocery stores are nothing more than a jungle. There are scams going on there all the time. There are scams in product packaging, product labeling, and product marketing. And it's just one of those things. This is just another layer of it. Even if organic labels may not be the most efficient and may be poorly regulated, they are still helping the consumer discover ways of making conscious decisions on how to buy the best foods for them. And what's important to them isn't necessarily what is important to the retailers. The decision on who buys what is you and I, and we have to be informed on it. Maybe organic product is not for us. Maybe there's a reason for it, and maybe we should just discount it. Maybe we should make our decisions more carefully. But it's really all back to us. Or if all food types must be regulated for our own benefit, and there has to be clarity on that regulation. That is my argument.
Okay, thank you very much, Al. Well done. Okay, and now arguing for the pro side, we have Sarab Sandhu. Sarab, your 2 minutes starting now.
Mr. Moderator and all our listeners and our esteemed opponents, what is organic? What is being labeled as organic? What are they meaning? Was this product made in a different way? Or was it not given the fertilizer, which was a chemical of some kind or a pesticide? Because everything which is grown is organic, if you're talking about the growing part. But what was used to help it grow? If the fertilizer was artificial and it was chemicals of some kind, that is what is being advertised when they say it's organic. So how would you say organic eggs? What do you mean by organic eggs? Does anybody understand that they are the chickens who are fed grains which were organically grown? So technically it's all to do with what fertilizer and pesticides you use and whether that came in the food chain or not. That is only describing that. But the difference between nutrition and between the organic and the so-called inorganic stuff, which is also produced the same way, it may be using a little bit of urea, which is a chemical, but it's still it's a natural product, no doubt. It came off petrochemical, which is a natural product anyway. So it is what is going inside. So when they're labeling it, they're not labeling that the food is organic. Everything is organic. It is if it's grown. But what was used to help to grow it, that is the inorganic part, which they're saying. So in a way, it is a mislabeling in a way that even if you have inorganic food, which is not labeled organic, there'll be not much harm as they expect. We are worried about the future, that something may happen. And that is why we are going by the fact that if we have organic, we'll live longer, we'll be better. But how much of that is true, we don't know. But that is a marketing strategy being used. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and making his arguments for the con side, we have Mario Karakidis. Mario, 2 minutes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Let me begin by saying, first of all, we've all heard of the term food chain, right? And things tend to translate from one particular stage to the other particular stage, and then to us as we eat it, and then we excrete it, and it continues on to the global food chain. The fact that when we're consuming products that have been grown in pesticides for protection, or if they have been fed animals that have been fed antibiotics in order to make them more resilient and last longer when their byproducts come to the market. We consume exactly that particular antibiotic. And that's part of the reason why we have antibiotic viruses and bacteria out there that are becoming more and more difficult to fight in our healthcare products, in our healthcare. One of the things that I look at is it's not the labeling that's the scam for organic. The scam is on the other side. The scam is feeding us food for a long time that is basically and literally crap food. And I'm talking about that literally, basically coming to us cheap and easy and just basically dirty. We don't care about the labeling there. We call the organic being labeled as a scam, but we don't see the fact that everybody turns a blind eye to the other scams and the other food thing because it's cheap and it can feed people and feeding people garbage, it's okay. Come on. There has to be something that we have to look at that is a little bit more sincere. In fact, we're advocating for eating all organic and stopping the other garbage coming into the food chain and everybody turning into making sure that the food chain is properly, regulated and we're eating good food.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mario. Oh, okay, so we've made our constructive arguments, and now we're going to go into a little bit of a round robin session here, and I'll perhaps direct it to some degree by asking you some questions about it. Now, the whole thing of what does organic mean? I think we need to address that in more detail before we go on here. Does organic mean free of chemicals? I mean, just what does this slippery term mean in your understanding? And I will put this to the pro side. So Andrew or Sarab, do you want to respond to that? What does it mean?
Well, we're discussing the word organic on the label, and that means different things in different jurisdictions. That's part of the problem.
But isn't the base idea that it's going to be free of chemicals, free of additives, free of human interference?
Free of GMOs, free of, for instance, in hydroponics, free of being grown in a solution of water and nutrients, because that's not organic according to the rules.
Okay. Okay. Well, how would the Sarab throw your 2 cents in?
Yeah, I want to say that in 1962, I had an occasion where I was for 1 year in the village. Now, this is an antiquated village in India, and that time there was no pesticide, there was no artificial fertilizers, there was all human, what you call cow manure and all that. At that time, everything was organic. Everything was organic. There's no need to label anything because that was 100% organic. Now, when they are saying organic, as I explained earlier, it is the pesticides, the chemicals which they use, which could make it that it's come in the food chain. And at that time, there was nothing. So that's the only difference is that there's chemicals in the food chain. And that's what they're trying to say is when it's organic, it's got nothing there.
So, Al and Mario, the other side is contending that everything is organic. That I mean, by definition, it's organic. So, how do you respond to that?
I will start off, Andrew. Well, the labeling of organic food is merely a new form of regulation dictating how the food is prepared, or the commodities that we buy are prepared. There's nothing unique about it. It doesn't really specialize whether the stuff is made out of oil or real plant products or that. It's simply a designation, just like every other commodity designation that you have. There are literally hundreds of different designations for regulations, I should say, that apply to food products. that guarantee the security and safety of these products. All this organic labeling is one more of those. It indicates to the consumer a certain way of production of these goods, nothing else. And it allows them to make more intelligent decisions on what they buy. Mario, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do. Calling it a scam is a problem for me. You know, it may not have the full extent of the regulations that we want to see and the protections we want to see. But I remember not just last night watching a television commercial with a hamburger place, and I'm not going to name the place, where they show you a juicy burger that big. And when you go buy that burger, it's that big. So who is scamming who? Okay, because when you take that patty and you look at it, it's paper thin. So let's put things in perspective. The scam is it goes way beyond, and it does affect very much the other side. And folks, the attempt to move us into something that is more healthier by labeling it organic is probably the first step of changing the perception that we have as human beings that, you know, that eating anything is acceptable. We have to have certain regulations. We have to have protections for our better health. And I think organic is the first step. And definitely that label should start to translate to everybody so that everybody can have a chance to get it without breaking their bank.
Okay. Thank you, Mario. Andrew, I'd like you to respond to what Mario just said. I mean, he's saying that the word scam is far too all-encompassing, and he's saying it's a first step and a necessary first step towards improving our food system.
If I could just begin with commenting on Al's remark that this is like safety regulations for food. It's a whole different level than that. It's not food safety. It's not protecting people from allergens. It's just a designation that the industry asked for as a way to segregate these products that they can then charge more for. But knowing full well that people would read far more into it than is there. Mario talks about eating healthy and so on. There's a large health food chain. If you go in there, you'll find their biggest single section is potato chips, corn chips, popcorn. It's all organic, full of salt, full of fat, but it's organic.
You know what, Andrew? Take it one step further. That's fine. Name them. Who are you talking about? Why not? Name them.
I'm not going to name them, but it's a large public corporation based in Texas that operates in Canada as well.
Okay, so we are left to do our research in it. Yeah, well, okay. Well, absolutely. Now, you have said, and the point has been made, suggested at least, that organic foods can be more poisonous than the natural foods. And so what is there remotely organic, I'm going to say, about these potato chips and this corn chips in the labeling?
If I can just add one more thing. I know I'm taking some time that Sarab should probably have. Do you think that plants in nature just sit there and let themselves be eaten by bugs? No, they respond with their own toxins. And in some cases, it's been shown that human-applied pesticides in very small amounts stop the plants from doing that, whereas one bug can trigger the plant to produce far more toxin than you would be eating from a traditionally grown product.
Well, there you are then. The suggestion and now is that these kinds of toxins, there's all sorts of naturally occurring substances that have nothing to do with it. So what's the response to that from Alan Mario?
Why eat that food to begin with? Why eat the toxic food to begin with? We have to make choices about what we eat, what we consume, and what we don't consume. Just because something looks nice and round and juicy doesn't mean we're going to put it in our mouths. I mean, come on, we have to be a little bit more
about
careful.
Something like celery is one of these products that produces a strong toxin if the plant gets attacked by a single bug. People think celery is pretty darn healthy to eat.
Mr.
Okay.
Moderator, I think
Yes.
this getting way off topic. We're talking about the labeling of foods, and now they're trying to segue this conversation or this debate into something completely different. We
All
must
we're saying
insist
So
is,
bring
on
us back
falling
on
back
topic there, Al.
on the regulation. Is the labeling of organic foods a scam? Whether or not the food has naturally grown toxins in it is immaterial to it. The question is organic labeling a scam or not?
So you're okay with labeling the poisonous celery as organic because it is?
Okay,
I'm
You're
not
okay
arguing
with your
that
side.
at all.
You're okay with your side. Wait a minute. He's okay with the so-called natural foods being labeled whatever the toxins there. So, and they're basically telling us that the labeling on the organic is the scam. I mean, come on. It's a little suspicious of an argument, I think, to make that claim.
I
And the
saw
only-
Sarab trying to get an argument.
they only label it to say this is a better product to eat. It will not affect you. But we are trying to make a parallel with the GMO. Like, for instance, the papaya. Every papaya is now a perfect papaya. Otherwise, before that, it would be one or two papayas in the whole tree. Why is that? Because they've genetically modified the seed. Now, maybe nothing happens, but there are many things which are created with the mixture of two products. It's a totally new product, and it may be organic too, but it is harmful for you. Like the genetically modified corn, the corn syrup is like poison. It creates so
Okay.
much sugar there.
Don't,
Nobody's
Okay.
labeling
don't tie
that.
the two together because GMOs and organics are not the same thing.
That's
So don't
right.
try to
That's
tie them
one.
together.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. That was a lively session, so we appreciate that. Let's go into our final arguments now. And Mario, you're going to kick this off. You've got 90 seconds to make your summation.
Gentlemen, the one thing, and ladies out there that are listening to this, first of all, let me begin by saying this. The important thing, especially in this debate that you're hearing, is that we make sure that whatever comes from the market to us is healthy or as healthy can be, that they're not manipulated to the point that they can do damage to us. And far long have we allowed marketing and we allowed consumerism to take over and really affect our decisions on whether or not we're going to be eating healthy or not healthy. The problem is that certain food products have become very expensive to eat, and I will concede that organics are more expensive. But as Andrew said, there is a much more expensive process of making sure that these things are better, which kind of changes the pricing. It's not a scam, but the pricing is so high. So why not have the entire market change in a way that can actually bring food forward that is healthy throughout everything? That way the price will kind of balance itself out. We all eat healthy, we all live longer, and we are all happier. That is the way to go, folks. So let's stop calling it a scam. Let's look at how we can take away the scammers and bring in healthier food. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mario. Sarab, your final thoughts on this matter, 90 seconds.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. No, we are saying that it is a scam because the market or the people that are concerned, they can push away non-organic food as organic food. That's the scam part, because you won't know the difference, really. If you eat this or that, you'll only know the difference in about 5 years' time when that chemical affected you. Otherwise, a lot of stuff which is not made to organic standards is also sold as organic. That is a scam part. You think everything is sold organic, the amount of volume, every farmer is doing it? No, they maybe have 10%, 20% organic, rest is inorganic, which is going there with the stuff. Nobody checks after that. That is a scam. And this is coming from the horse's mouth from Costco. Some buyer was telling us. So that is the scam. We are saying that we are saying non-organic food is being sold as organic food. We don't even know. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Sarab. Okay, Al Brown. 90 seconds to sum up your thoughts.
Very well. Thank you very much, Andrew. Well, as I started in my opening remarks, the watchword for any consumer in the food market is buyer beware. You do not necessarily know what's out there. You are relying on the labeling, and you're relying on the regulators to ensure that the food that you're getting is safe to eat and will not kill you or cause you serious harm or any of your family members. But it's still a jungle out there. I once went out and tried to comparison shop some items that I wanted, and I found in 3 different grocery stores, you had different pricing and different packaging sizes, all for the same thing. And the only reason the retailers were doing that is they didn't want me to comparison shop. We are in a war, in a way, you might say, with retailers. And it's important for us to get information on products. And the organic labeling does provide us with that information. If product is being sold labeled organic when it is not, then that is an element for regulation. That's when the cops need to come in and start arresting people, because we need clarity in our food products. We need standardization. We need to know that the products we're eating are what they say they are. Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much. And making his final arguments now is Mr. Andrew Oates. Andrew.
I'm sad to see my opponents have fallen into some of the same traps that I pointed out earlier. Organic does not mean better. Organic is not something that's regulated by our government, the label. People work to these labels and these rules and misuse them. That's why you can buy a little breath mint that's all sugar, but it's labeled as sugar-free. Why? Because it's very tiny, and if you have less than 2 grams of sugar in your product, it's sugar-free according to the rules. Has anybody looked at how much land it would take to feed everybody organically? We need conventionally produced products to feed the world and to have products that will survive being stored in order to have emergency backups of food. I think there's a lot of merit to the comedian's observation back in the 70s when people started eating organic. That he would start eating natural food when people stopped dying of natural causes. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And you know what, guys? Congratulations to all of you. You've made a number of excellent arguments on both sides. I'm trying to make sense of it as one of the viewers. I mean, I'm a viewer here. I'm taking it in. Certainly, yes, good points were made on both sides. I'm impressed by the points where, you know, some kind of labeling, I mean, different kinds of labeling are necessary. And organic labeling is one of the tools in that particular war chest, and it has some usefulness, and it may not be perfect, but at least it's a step in the right direction. On the other side, I mean, lots of great arguments are being made there too. I mean, it's what exactly does organic mean? And if you can have organic potato chips and organic candy, then of course the whole thing is rather nonsensical. So you know what I'm going to have to do here on balance. I am suspected of being a little bit of bias, in this. So I am going to declare this debate not exactly a tie, but I'm going to give 52% of the weight of the arguments to the con side, to Al and Mario. And I'm going to give 48% of the balance to the pro side, Andrew and Sarab. So we cannot just say that this thing has been definitively decided for all endeavor. At least we had a pretty good scrap of it here on this bad podcast. So thanks again, gentlemen, and well done. Give yourselves a hand for that. Okay, yeah, there you go. Now, we visit you weekly, and we are going to inflict another Be It Resolved debate on you next week. So you wanna tune in on this one, and we're going to debate something which is actually is timely and it has worldwide implications. So we've decided to talk about Be It Resolved that the Tokyo Summer Olympic Games should be canceled once and for all. That's what we'll be talking about, and that's something to look forward to. So thanks again, gentlemen, and there you are. Be It Resolved.
Thank you for listening, and please subscribe so you do not miss another episode. Thank you.